So, I don't know how many people are watching this, how many people care. I, my thing is, if you're watching this, just stop a minute and look at me here. Really, stop what you're doing and listen to this. Because to me, this is something I feel that is not said enough. We talk about mental abuse, physical abuse from friends, from boyfriends, girlfriends. And yes, of course, we talk about physical abuse from family. But what we don't talk about is the unintentional mental abuse from family. What no one understands is, in this day and time, most of us either have one, a mental health problem of some sort, whether it's ADHD, bipolar, which it's nothing to be ashamed of. Your brain works a little different. So what? You make adaptations. You learn, you live, you go on with your life. Yes, it makes it harder, but it makes those satisfactory moments that much more worth it. Um, and that's what's hard. People like me, people like I'm sure thousands of others that will probably never see this, or if they do, they do. Hell, even if one person sees it, this is to tell you that think back to growing up and your parents. Yes, they wanted the best for you. Well, most parents. There were some that weren't very okay parents, but still. Nonetheless, parents sit there and think it's okay when they tell us, for example, for girls, when we're skinny when we're little and then we start to get bigger, they make little comments about, well, we don't want you to get bigger because of your health. And, stuff like that. They're not doing it to be mean. They're really not, I don't believe. Or at least I like to believe that. But they don't realize how it comes across to us. It starts those insecurities. And we're told that when we do something wrong, that it's always our fault. And yes, to a degree, I will admit, teenagers, children, we all have some part in a parent and child argument, whether it's, intentional or unintentional. Yes, sometimes it is. Most of the time, it's pretty good of us starting it. But there are times that parents don't realize what they say either. But to them, because they're the parents, they don't say it and it's okay. It's not. Even to a parent watching this, it's not okay. If you're going to sit there and tell your child, or even your adult child, that what they do is wrong, but you are doing the same thing, and they call you out on it, and then say, no, you're not doing it, it shows them that the world is horrible. It lowers how they feel about themselves, about... It brings more questions, basically, than it does answers. And I feel like this isn't said enough. Now, again, I'm not saying parents don't mean to. Like, they do it on purpose because they don't. You know? At least mostly. And no, sometimes parents have their own mental health problems, physical health problems, or just all around general stress problems, just like us. For kids that were raised like how I was raised, it's hard to watch your parents struggle and try to make life work and get nowhere. But then people that do horrible things, hurt people, lie to people, use people, steal. They get what they want in life. Until the end. And yes, in the end, all of you are going to comment. I know I'm going to get some of these comments, and I don't really care. Oh, well, in the end, karma did it. No. In the end, yes, they get what they deserve, granted, depending on what you believe in. But here's what I believe in. That shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be after you die that the good people are rewarded and that the bad people are punished. To me, if you are a bad person in life, life shouldn't hand you everything. Now, granted, I get there's people that are missing some common sense and they get set up for life, and it's helpful. But at the same time, I believe people that get help like that should always give back. Like, just be a nice person. And there's very few of those in the world. And even in family, there's even fewer. I did this video because to get to the point of this video is because I suffer from ADHD, bipolar, anger outburst disorder, severe anxiety, and depression. I take meds like I'm supposed to function. At one point, I did believe therapy and meds were for crazy people. I'll admit that. But it's because I didn't know any better. The hardest thing is when someone looks at you and goes, it's an excuse, or a crutch that you use. Then they'll turn around and look at somebody with a physical ailment or a worse off mental ailment like an addiction to drugs or alcohol. And they'll humor that for years. Months, years, days, weeks, whatever. They'll encourage that person to get help, to try to be supportive to that person. And when they make the same excuses, using those same problems, those same addictions, or those same mental problems, or their same whatever, it's okay, it's understandable. It's understandable to them because it's not in their family. This does hit close home for me, more so than anything, because there are days where my brain does not work. One wreck I was in was because my brain did not register fast enough to hit the brake fast enough. My brain spaced. I wasn't looking at my phone. I was trying to pay attention to the light. And my brain just... Now, that wreck was deemed my fault. I did not hurt anybody, thank God. And it was also deemed both of our faults for the simple fact of he said, she said, but... I have sticky notes, which you can't see because I don't have any over here. But I have